Hey everyone, ready to dive into something you think you know?
Always.
This deep dive is all about Christmas.
Ooh, festives.
But we're going way beyond just carols and cookies.
Okay.
You wanted more than just the basics, right?
Right.
We're unpacking how Christmas became what it is today, and maybe even where it's headed next.
That's a great question.
Think of this as your shortcut
Shortcut.
to becoming a Christmas expert.
I like it. And you might be surprised to find
Oh, really?
that some of your favorite Christmas traditions
Okay.
have roots that go back way further than you might expect.
Further back.
Yeah, even predating Christianity.
Oh, that's already got me intrigued.
Yeah.
Our source material is actually an outline
Outlines.
for an educational podcast episode.
Interesting.
But trust me, it's way more interesting than it sounds.
I believe you.
This outline is basically a roadmap through the history of Christmas,
Okay.
showing how it evolved over centuries.
Centuries.
It's fascinating to see how ancient celebrations blended with Christian beliefs,
Yeah,
creating the
right.
holiday we know today.
It really is.
Isn't it?
For example,
Yeah.
think about winter solstice festivals.
Winter solstice.
Many northern European cultures celebrated the sun's return,
Okay.
marking the shortest day of the year.
So lighting candles, gathering around the fire
That.
for warmth.
Yeah.
Those aren't just about setting the mood for Christmas dinner.
Hmm.
Those actions are actually echoing something much older.
Honoring the cycle of nature,
Right.
hoping for spring's return.
Okay.
These were powerful ideas, deeply ingrained in those cultures.
Wow.
And it wasn't just about quiet reflection either. The
Oh,
Romans had their own way of celebrating.
right, the Romans.
Hmm.
When I think of them, I
Yeah,
think
you
of
would
big, elaborate events.
That's right.
Didn't they have a festival around December?
They did.
Oh, really?
Saturnalia, a week-long festival in honor of Saturn,
Okay.
god of agriculture. And let's just say,
Yeah.
it was a bit more lively than a silent night.
Okay, spill the details.
All right.
What kind of festivities are we talking about?
Picture this:
Gift giving.
gift giving,
Okay.
role reversal,
Role reversals.
gambling,
Gambling.
and feasts that would put any holiday buffet to shame.
Wow.
You wouldn't believe it.
What?
Masters would even serve their slaves during Saturnalia.
Wow, that's a real flip of the script.
Yeah.
Sounds like a time to let loose and forget about the usual rules.
Absolutely.
So how did we go from celebrating the sun and honoring Roman gods
Yeah,
to what we now call Christmas?
good question.
Did people just decide to switch parties?
Not quite.
Okay.
The shift started in the 4th century
Century? Okay.
with Emperor Constantine.
Emperor Constantine.
He converted to Christianity and was determined to make it the dominant religion in the Roman Empire.
Wow.
To ease the transition,
Uh,
he cleverly aligned the celebration of Jesus' birth with December 25th, right around the time of Saturnalia.
that makes so much sense.
Right.
By weaving Christian beliefs into existing traditions,
Mm-hmm.
it probably made it easier for people to adopt the new religion.
Yeah.
Instead of forcing people to abandon their customs,
Right.
he found a way to blend the old and new.
Exactly.
That's pretty savvy,
It certainly was.
don't you think?
And that blending of traditions has shaped Christmas throughout history. Even as the Christian aspects grew more central,
Yeah.
those festive elements from Saturnalia
Right.
and the winter solstice
Okay.
remained woven into the fabric of the holiday.
It's like a cultural recipe.
Recipe.
Mixing ingredients from different times and places.
I like that analogy.
So in a way, when
Yeah.
we're stringing up lights
Yeah.
and exchanging gifts, we're also carrying on echoes of celebrations that are centuries old.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a remarkable example of how cultural traditions can evolve,
Yeah.
merge, and persist through time.
That's pretty amazing.
But you know,
What?
the evolution of Christmas didn't stop there.
It didn't.
As we move into the Middle Ages,
Okay.
things get even more interesting
Interesting how.
and a little bit controversial.
Oh, now you've really got me hooked.
Uh-huh.
Controversy at Christmas time.
Yes, indeed.
That sounds like something we need to unpack.
It is.
Ready to jump into the next chapter of this Christmas saga.
Absolutely.
Sounds good to me. Let's dive in.
All right. Welcome back.
Okay.
Before we dig into the Middle Ages
Yeah.
and that bit of controversy I mentioned,
Okay.
let's take a moment to picture
Okay.
what Christmas might have been like during that time.
All right.
Imagine bustling markets,
Bustling markets.
overflowing with spices and exotic goods,
Wow.
towering cathedrals,
Okay.
filled with the sound of chanting and grand feasts, where entire villages gathered to share stories and celebrate.
Wow, that really paints a vivid picture.
Doesn't it?
It sounds almost magical.
It does.
Like something out of a storybook. But I'm guessing it wasn't all feasts and fairy tales.
Right.
You mentioned controversy.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Remember the Puritans we talked about earlier?
The Puritans.
The ones who saw those fun-loving Roman traditions as a bit too much.
Okay.
Well, by the 1600s,
All right.
they had gained quite a bit of influence, particularly in England and parts of the American colonies.
And their views on Christmas?
Let's just say they weren't handing out candy canes.
Okay, so they weren't fans of the whole festive atmosphere.
Not really.
Was it just a general disapproval? Or did they take it further than that?
Oh, they took it a lot further.
Really?
They believed Christmas had strayed too far from its religious roots and became a breeding ground for, well, sinful behavior.
Sinful behavior.
They saw those lavish feasts, the drinking, the singing, the gift-giving as distractions from true piety.
So they actually tried to ban Christmas.
They did.
That's pretty extreme.
You can say that again. They banned everything from carols to decorations. Even fined people for celebrating.
No way.
Imagine that.
What?
Getting a ticket for singing Deck the Halls.
It must have been quite a shock for people who were used to celebrating Christmas.
It was.
As a time of joy and community.
Absolutely.
It really makes you think about how cultural norms can change so dramatically over time.
They can.
What was once a beloved holiday
I know.
suddenly became something you could get in trouble for.
Right.
But Christmas seems to have a way of bouncing back.
Yeah?
It wasn't gone forever, was it?
Thankfully not.
Okay, good.
Christmas had a major revival in the 1800s.
1800s.
Thanks in part to a few familiar names.
Oh, like who?
Queen Victoria
Okay.
and her husband, Prince Albert,
Uh-huh.
were huge proponents of Christmas trees.
Christmas tree.
Albert brought the tradition from his native Germany,
Okay.
and the royal family's embrace of it
Yeah.
helped it spread throughout Britain and beyond.
So our love for decking the halls with pine trees
That's right.
is thanks to Queen Victoria.
Very much.
Now that's a royal seal of approval.
Indeed.
But what about those carols the Puritans tried to silence? How did those come back into fashion?
Well, around the same time,
Okay.
Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol,
A Christmas carol.
a story that captured the hearts of Victorian England.
Right.
The tale's emphasis on generosity,
Rosity.
family, and redemption
Okay.
really resonated with people
Yeah.
and helped shift the focus back to those heartwarming aspects of the holiday.
It's amazing how a single story
I know, right?
can have such a powerful impact on cultural perceptions.
It is.
Dickens basically reminded everyone what the spirit of Christmas was all about.
Exactly.
Generosity over Grinches.
That's a good one.
And while we're talking about iconic Christmas figures,
Yeah.
what about Santa Claus?
Did he exist back then?
Oh, Santa's got quite a history too.
He does.
You see,
Yeah.
the modern Santa Claus we know and love is a blend of various traditions and legends.
Okay.
His roots can be traced back to a real historical figure,
A real person.
St. Nicholas,
Saint
a
Nicholas.
4th century bishop,
Okay.
known for his generosity, particularly to children.
So Santa Claus was inspired by a real person.
That's right.
That's fascinating.
It is.
But St. Nicholas doesn't exactly conjure up images
Yeah.
of a jolly red-suited man with flying reindeer.
Right.
How did that transformation happen?
Well, over the centuries, the legend of St. Nicholas evolved,
It evolved.
merging with folklore and pagan traditions from different cultures.
Different cultures.
In the Netherlands,
Okay.
he was known as Sinterklaas,
Sint-
arriving on a steamboat.
A steamboat? Wow. With a mischievous helper called Zwarte Piet.
Zwarte Piet.
Then, in the 19th century,
Okay.
American writers and illustrators
Okay.
put their own spin on the character, giving him reindeer sleigh
Reindeer sleigh. Okay.
and a home at the North Pole.
It's like a game of cultural telephone,
Yeah,
with each generation adding their own twist to the story.
that's right.
But if we're talking about Santa's image,
Yeah.
we can't forget about Coca-Cola, can we?
We can't.
Their iconic advertising campaign in the 1930s
Right.
really solidified the jolly red-suited Santa we all know and love.
Absolutely.
Right.
Their marketing genius
Yeah.
turned Santa into a global icon,
Wow.
forever associating him with Christmas cheer,
Mmm.
and, of course, a refreshing bottle of Coke.
It's a prime example of how pop culture can shape
That is.
and solidify even the most ancient traditions.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible to see how Christmas has taken so many twists and turns throughout history.
Right.
From ancient solstice celebrations to Roman revelry,
Uh-huh.
from medieval plays to Puritan bans,
Right.
and finally to the Victorian era.
Yes.
That shaped much of what we celebrate today.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, though,
What does?
what's next for this ever-evolving holiday?
That's a great question.
Is it?
And the answer might surprise you.
Okay.
Are you ready to explore how Christmas is celebrated around the globe?
I am.
And what the future might hold for this beloved holiday?
Absolutely. Let's see what other Christmas surprises await us.
Okay, let's go.
Welcome back. We've journeyed through centuries of Christmas traditions,
Yeah.
from ancient feasts to Victorian carols.
It's been quite a ride.
But now I'm curious,
Yeah.
how does Christmas look around the world today?
That's a great question.
It's not just about snow and Santa everywhere, right?
You're absolutely right. Christmas has gone global,
Global.
adapting to different cultures and taking on some surprising local flavors.
Local flavors.
It's fascinating to see how those core ideas
Yeah.
of generosity and celebration
Uh-huh.
find expression in such diverse ways.
Okay, give us some examples.
Right.
What are some of the more unexpected ways people celebrate Christmas around the world?
Well, let's take Japan, for instance.
Japan. Okay.
You might be surprised to learn that Christmas there
Yeah.
is more of a romantic holiday for couples.
For couples.
They go on dates, exchange gifts, and enjoy a special meal.
Hi.
And get this,
What?
the meal of choice is often Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wait, seriously?
Yep.
KFC for Christmas dinner?
It's true.
That's definitely not something you see in a Hallmark movie.
Uh-huh. No, it's not.
It might sound strange,
It might.
but it's become a beloved tradition in Japan.
It has.
People pre-order buckets of fried chicken weeks in advance.
I know, it's crazy, right?
It just goes to show that even global holidays can take on unique local spins.
It really can.
That's a great example of how food plays such a central role in Christmas celebrations, even if the menu varies wildly from place to place.
It's true.
It makes you realize that Christmas is as much about creating new memories
Yeah,
as it is about honoring old traditions.
it's a mix of both.
Are there any other traditions that stand out as particularly unique?
Absolutely. Imagine this.
Okay.
Instead of a single day of celebration, how about 9?
9 days.
In Mexico,
Okay.
Christmas festivities begin on December 16th
Right.
with Las Posadas,
Las Posadas.
a 9-day procession that reenacts Mary and Joseph's search for lodging.
Wow. A 9-day Christmas celebration?
Yeah.
That sounds both exhausting and amazing.
Uh-huh. I know, right? It's a vibrant and joyful time,
Okay.
filled with music, food, and community gatherings.
I like it.
Each night, a different house hosts the procession,
Oh, wow.
offering food and hospitality.
That sounds nice.
And of course, no Mexican Christmas is complete
Yeah.
without traditional treats like tamales
Tamale.
and puncher, a warm fruit punch.
It sounds like a fantastic blend of religious observance and festive celebration. So we've got KFC in Japan, 9-day processions in Mexico.
Yeah.
Any other Christmas traditions that might surprise us?
Well, picture this Christmas on the beach
Christmas on the beach.
with sunshine and barbecues.
No way.
That's how they celebrate in Australia.
Really?
Since it's summertime there in December,
Right.
it's all about outdoor gatherings, beach cricket,
Beach cricket.
and a more laid-back approach to the holiday.
Okay, now I'm officially jealous.
Uh-huh.
I'd trade a snowy Christmas for a beach barbecue any day.
I hear ya.
It's so interesting to see how climate and local customs influence the way people celebrate.
Yeah.
Even something as globally recognized as Christmas.
All right.
But with all these variations and the ever-growing influence of commercialism, does the original spirit of Christmas still shine through?
That's a great question. And it's one that many people ponder during holiday season.
It is.
It's easy to get swept up in the frenzy of shopping and decorating
Yeah.
and lose sight of what truly matters.
What does?
Generosity, compassion, and connection.
Hmm.
It's something we should all consider, isn't it?
It is.
How do we balance the excitement of the season with the values at its heart?
It's definitely a balancing act.
It is.
But I also see a growing movement
Oh, yeah.
toward a more mindful approach to Christmas. People are focusing on experiences
Experiences.
over material gifts, volunteering their time.
Volunteering.
And making an effort to connect with loved ones on a deeper level.
I agree. Those are the things that truly create lasting memories and strengthen bonds.
Absolutely.
The spirit of Christmas is ultimately about human connection,
Right.
kindness, and sharing joy with those around us.
I like that.
And that's something that transcends cultural boundaries and commercial trends.
So as we look ahead, what might the future hold for Christmas? Do you think those core values will continue to evolve?
Well, technology is bound to play a role, as it does with everything these days. Imagine virtual Santa visits,
Virtual Santa.
where kids can chat with a digitally rendered Santa from their living rooms.
From their living rooms. Wow.
It might sound futuristic,
It does.
but it could actually make the magic of Christmas more accessible to people around the world,
That's true.
regardless of location or circumstance.
That's a great point. And as we move towards more immersive online experiences,
Right.
who knows?
Who knows?
We might even see virtual Christmas markets, digital gift exchanges,
Yeah,
or even entire Christmas celebrations hosted in the Metaverse.
exactly. The possibilities are endless.
Wow.
But as with any technological advancements,
Right.
the key is to use them in a way that enhances our connection to each other, not replaces it.
I think you're right. And as we become more aware of our environmental impact, I wonder if we'll also see a shift
Towards
more sustainable Christmas traditions.
Sustainable.
Things like reusable Christmas trees,
reusable.
eco-friendly decorations, and a focus on locally sourced gifts.
I think that's a natural progression.
It is.
We're already seeing a trend towards more conscious consumerism,
Yeah.
and I imagine that will extend to how people approach Christmas as well.
Absolutely. Perhaps future generations will create their own unique
The
blend
blend of.
tradition and innovation, finding ways to celebrate that are both meaningful and mindful.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, isn't it?
It is.
The history of Christmas shows us that this holiday is constantly evolving,
It is.
adapting to the times and reflecting the values of each generation.
And ultimately, the future of Christmas is in our hands.
Our hands.
How will we shape the traditions we pass on to future generations?
Good question.
What values will we choose to emphasize?
Those are thought-provoking questions to consider as we wrap up our deep dive.
It's been an incredible journey, hasn't it?
It really has.
From ancient solstice celebrations to Japanese KFC, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But the one constant throughout it all
Yeah.
seems to be that underlying desire to connect,
Connect.
to share joy, and to celebrate the things that matter most.
Absolutely, and that's a beautiful thing to remember as we head into the holiday season.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Christmas,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with one final thought. What stood out to you the most?
What stood out?
What surprised you, challenged you, or inspired you? And what do you envision for the future of Christmas?
What do you envision?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Christmas, past, present, and future.
And no matter how you choose to celebrate, we wish you a holiday season filled with warmth, joy, and meaningful connections.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Until next time, happy holidays.